Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football. Welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. It's never a boring day at Chelsea Football Club. It never is. And at this point, I'm tired, man. I'm tired. This is getting ridiculous beyond belief. I mean, the drama today involving tickets. This is what we do. This is what it's come to. All of a sudden, we've got an actual debate happening in government talking about Chelsea fans. I mean, I didn't think it would happen. I didn't. Anyway, we'll get to the details very, very shortly. Before we do, though, I want to let you know, this is the Lille versus Chelsea preview, technically. So I will come to that in the end. But this video is brought to you and sponsored by the OneFootball app. Make sure you hit that link in the description for all of your footballing needs, including all the news I'm about to give you today. And if you actually want to know what's going on for the Lille versus Chelsea game, make sure you look at the details in the OneFootball app. It's all there for you. Chelsea needing, not needing a thing. Lille needing 2 goals because it's 2-0 to Chelsea at the moment on aggregate. We'll get into all of that at the end of the video. But make sure you hit that link in the description, download the OneFootball app and enjoy. Now, let's get into the chaos that this afternoon and this morning has been, because we had news about the Middlesbrough game. And actually, you know what? I'm just going to dive right in. I'm just going to show you because at this point, I think the images speak much louder than words at the moment. I'll just show you, you know, the old saying, a picture is, louder than 1,000 words. If the saying is even right, my brain's fried. Not Chelsea, the government have fried my brain at this point. So honestly, I'm going to paraphrase a lot of stuff, but let me just show you. Yeah. And we'll get straight into it. Here's what's happened today. So Chelsea initially, after midday today, put out this statement, this update, Middlesbrough ticket update. And in that update, they went on to explain, we are disappointed to announce we will not be able to sell tickets for Saturday's FA Cup tie at Middlesbrough. Now, just to give a little bit of context, Chelsea had already sold 600 tickets in a capacity of what would have been about 3,000 or 4,000, I think. So 600 tickets had already been given out, dispatched, cool. The rest is what we're talking about here. So here it is. Despite engaging in extensive discussions with the Office of Financial Sanctions Implementation, the deadline to purchase away tickets had passed without appropriate amendments being made to the government licence, which would allow a full allocation of Chelsea supporters to attend. Executives at Middlesbrough had been kind enough to extend their deadline for ticket sales and stadium allocation from 7:30 p.m. last night until 9:30 a.m. this morning. It is important for the competition that the match against Middlesbrough goes ahead. However, it is with extreme reluctance that we are asking the FA board to direct that the game be played behind closed doors for matters of sporting integrity. Chelsea FC recognises that such an outcome would have a huge impact on Middlesbrough and its supporters, as well as our own fans who have already bought the limited number of tickets that were sold before the licence was imposed. But we believe this is the fairest way of proceeding in the current circumstances. We will continue to discuss the issue of ticket sales with OFSI, as there are a number of fixtures still to be played this season and we hope to reach a resolution. Now, this didn't go down well at all. Not at all. The outrage, everyone with the outrage. And this is where I think Chelsea done it intentionally. And I'm going to come to what I think later. But in terms of the reception from that statement, it didn't go down well at all. So this is what went down. Comms disaster class from Chelsea PR trying to bounce the government into weakening sanctions measures. The Twitter outcry in response will shortly have the genius effect of making it harder for the government to back down. Now, in terms of this actual statement from Chelsea about we're asking this to be played behind closed doors, there was a senior government source. Again, they don't actually say who they are. We don't know who's talking here, but it's a senior government source. Just like the other day, it was a Whitehall source. This time, it's a senior government source. So it's meant to be someone who's quite high up there. And by the way, talking about the government, it's actually crazy. I was on Goonie's stream yesterday, Man Knows Football, and we was talking about this very briefly, and someone asked if it's going to be debated in Parliament. And I said, no, surely not. You know, are you really going to expect the House House of Commons, Parliament in this country, to be talking about Chelsea fans. Like, come on, there are bigger things to discuss, except us, okay? Well, guess what? The government have scooped to a new low. The Parliament have scooped to a new low. They're talking about us. You know what's crazy in all this? I have not heard one piece of news from this country. I don't know what's going on in this country anymore. Has anything actually happened? Has crime stopped in this country? No one knows. All the media talking about is Chelsea fans, Chelsea fans, Chelsea. Unbelievable. But a senior government source said this in response to Chelsea's statement or asking of the Middlesbrough game to be played behind closed doors. Senior government source, we are working around the clock to enable Chelsea to continue operating as a club in the interest of the fans. This statement threatening Middlesbrough and the rest of the Football League shows they do not seem to understand the seriousness of the situation they are in, being owned by an entity that has been sanctioned because of links to a person responsible for appalling acts in Ukraine. We are not opposed to Chelsea having fans at games in the long run, but we will not allow money from ticket sales to flow to a sanctioned entity. Chelsea should spend less time worrying about having a few thousand fans at one game and focus on moving their club into the hands of someone who isn't linked to a warmonger. It's funny that all of this is now coming out now, but no one had a problem when Roman bought the club in 2003. I just want to say this because everyone and their mother knew that he was friends with Putin. Just want to say that now. Back then, what was happened in the last few years is apparently he's distanced himself. All of a sudden now it's become a thing that, he needs to be sanctioned. But you know what? As I've already said, you want to sanction Roman? Sanction Roman. That's already happened. He's already been sanctioned. Chelsea have already been separated from this. So I don't understand why all of a sudden Chelsea are still being hit here. Chelsea as a club, or at least the fans are being targeted. Now, just to pull up a little bit of hypocrisy here, okay, because I have to point this out. This government source has said it himself, right? Let me quote. We are not opposed to Chelsea having fans at games in the long run, but we will not allow money from ticket sales to flow to a sanctioned entity. Cool. I'm cool with that. All right? Fair enough. Well, I've got something to show you guys. Check this out. Exclusive. Chelsea tell fans they can't even give out free tickets to a memorial service for club legend Peter Bonetti. The article goes on to say, Chelsea tell fans they can't even give out free tickets to a memorial service for club legend Peter Bonetti because it's still classed as a transaction and is banned under government sanctions. What? What? It's free. All of a sudden, it was about money going through ticket sales to a sanctioned entity. Fair enough. This is being given out for free. There is no money in this. What's going on? And on top of that, if we actually want to talk about the Middlesbrough game, no one seems to be talking about this point here. Check this out. FA will refuse Chelsea's request to play Borough match behind closed doors. For a start, 500 to 600 tickets had been sold to Chelsea fans before the ban. One interesting thing is why the government have not responded to Chelsea's request to give their tickets away for free. No one seems to be talking about that though, are they? Hypocrisy. This is what makes me fuming. Now it's not about the war. It's not about sanctioning an entity. Chelsea wanted to give tickets for free. Hey, no, but all of a sudden, no, we can't do that. Can't do that. Chelsea fans have already come out previous and said, you know what, if we're banned, at least give it for free. At least just let fans in. Just let fans in, right? No money involved, just let fans in. Chelsea have tried. They're not being given any flipping response by the government who are imposing these sort of things. So, Chelsea... And you know what? It was a dirty tactic. I have to admit, it was a dirty tactic, but it's a tactic. As far as I interpret it, it's a tactic. Chelsea putting that statement out, talking about, let's play the game behind closed doors. What did that do? Well, it done this. Here is the Middlesbrough Chairman talking. Check this out. I can't believe it. Sporting integrity and Chelsea do not belong in the same sentence. For 19 years, corrupt money has fueled Chelsea's success. Are they going to play all Premier League games behind closed doors too? This is pathetic by Chelsea. We go on to explain what's happened in the last hour. Chelsea have withdrawn their request to have their FA Cup tie at Middlesbrough played behind closed doors. And the FA have released a statement. Chelsea have said this. The FA has issued the following statement. We are grateful for the FA's continuing efforts to help us find a solution. The FA went on to say, after constructive talks between the FA and Chelsea, the club has agreed to remove their request for the Emirates FA Cup quarter-final tie against Middlesbrough to be played behind closed doors. The FA remains in ongoing discussions with Chelsea, the Premier League and the government to find a solution that would enable both Chelsea fans to attend games and away fans to attend Stamford Bridge whilst ensuring sanctions are respected. Well, it's funny because at the moment, we haven't got any of that. None of that. And in relation to what was put out by the Middlesbrough Chairman, I can see where he's coming from. Right? I can see where he's coming from. If I was Middlesbrough, I'd probably be saying the same thing. Fair enough. And he's right in terms of saying, would Chelsea ask for Premier League games to be held behind closed doors at the Bridge and whatnot? But no, we wouldn't. We wouldn't. And you know what? This is where I think this from Cave, Sky journalist, is quite accurate. This is what he said. In Chelsea's defence, reading between the lines, I don't think they expect the FA to rule this game should be played behind closed doors. I think what Chelsea are doing is apply a little bit of pressure on the government. And I completely agree. He goes on to say to the government, look, this is a situation, a ridiculous situation. We're even willing to give tickets away for nothing. You've got to relax the restrictions on us to allow to sell these tickets. As I've said, Chelsea want to do this for free. They're not being allowed to. As far as I interpret it, this is Chelsea's way of going, okay, we'll force your hand. We're going to ask the game to be played behind closed doors. That way Middlesbrough fans can't attend. Look at the outrage that everyone came out with. No, you can't do that to Middlesbrough fans. How dare you do that to Middlesbrough fans? How are they involved? They don't deserve this. Rightfully so. Rightfully so. I agree. But why do Chelsea fans deserve this? They don't. This is the difference. And this is where I think Chelsea have actually forced the government's hand here and made them, I'd like to say, exposed a little bit. Because Chelsea fans are paying the price here. Chelsea fans can't go to the game on Saturday against Middlesbrough. Even for free, that Chelsea have actually tried to do is give tickets away for free. Government are not even responding. So Chelsea have gone, all right, nice one. Let's sanction the game then. Let's make sure this game is played behind closed doors. Let's see if you guys are going to say anything about Middlesbrough fans. Everyone did. Well, why does it apply the same? Why does it play one way for Middlesbrough fans and it applies different for Chelsea fans? Middlesbrough fans haven't got anything to do with what's happened in Ukraine, Roman, whatever. Chelsea fans don't have anything to do with what's happened in Ukraine, Roman, whatever. Now, you want to sanction the club? Cool. You want to sanction Roman for that? You don't want him getting any money? As far as I'm concerned, the club has already been distanced away from Roman. That's been done by force. But even if there is still some link in terms of transaction, the club want to give away tickets for free and you haven't responded. This is to the government. What? This is the point. This is the point. And they're not even being allowed to go to Peter Bonetti's memorial service on Friday. For free. This is, Chelsea fans are being hit here, targeted. And of course, I'm going to come in defense of them. I am one. This is ludicrous. The club have been separated from Roman. Keep it as that then. Allow Chelsea to function as a football club and keep hold of the accounts. Keep your eye as a government on what's going on in the accounts. Chelsea have already given assurances via themselves and via the Rain Group who are managing the sale of the club that all the accounts will be transparent and shown to the government for approval. The government have to give their approval. So what's the hold up? Honestly, the whole thing is crazy. The whole thing is crazy. But obviously, Chelsea, I think, did play a little bit of a dirty tactic in terms of forcing the hand. But at this rate, this is what they've had to do as far as I interpret the situation. I disagree with Middlesbrough fans being hit as well, of course. But I disagree with all fans being hit. This has nothing to do with any of us. This is the point. The government don't want to respond for tickets given away for free, though. They don't want to respond, and they don't want to allow people to go to a memorial service. This is what it's come to. It's absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, Chelsea have withdrawn that request now. Point proven, I feel like. We'll see what happens going forward. But Chelsea fans, I don't think are going to be in attendance except for the 500 or 600 that actually got a ticket on Saturday. And that is what I expected in the first place. But Chelsea have made a statement. Anyway, let's get into the Champions League fixture now. Lille versus Chelsea. This coming 24 hours, tomorrow night, we play Lille 2-0 ahead. And I'd like to think that we got this under wraps. Now, the press conference was a very entertaining one with both Tuchel and Kai Havertz. And again, once again, the journalists are just on to Thomas Tuchel, man. The journalists, you know what? Look, at this point, Thomas Tuchel, if he's asked one more question about what is going on like this, and the same goes for Eddie Howe, because I feel for Eddie Howe right now. Eddie Howe's being asked all things Saudi. What's he got to do with it? You know, it's crazy. You know what? What these managers need to start doing is show up for the press conference because they are obliged by contract. They are obliged by rules of the Premier League and the FA and any competition they participate in. Champions League, UEFA. They have to show up. Answer one question. Yeah, you get asked one question, give no answer, no comment, get up and go away. Walk off. You've attended, you've answered the question, you've done what you've had to do. At this rate, just start ignoring press conferences. Just show up, thank you very much, bye, and walk off. Because the journalists are doing an absolutely stupid job here. Asking Thomas Tuchel about what's happened in Parliament. And Thomas Tuchel gave a very, very logical answer. He was like, look, if it's got to the point where Parliament are talking about Chelsea fans, then we need to start having discussions about what their actual priorities are. As a Parliament, is this what your priority is? You are running the country and you're talking about fans of a football club. I mean, this has gone a bit crazy. You know, there are bigger things to discuss in terms of running the country. Have you not seen, for example, fuel prices going crazy? I mean, all sorts. The NHS. No, we're going to ignore all that. Talk about Chelsea fans. Kai Havertz, in the press conference, put a very, very good soundbite forward saying that he would pay for his own travels if he had to. And the same was said by Azpilicueta behind the scenes somewhere, that if it comes to it, that the players will just have to pay for their own things. Now, thankfully, going to Lille, it's all arranged and it's all done. But going forward, even though Bruce Buck, the chairman, has given assurances that we have enough in order to finish the season, that, players are willing to pay their dues if they have to and help out in terms of going to places and going to games and going to stadiums and having to get this season completed. So, yeah, aside from that, Thomas Tuchel did give us clarification in terms of players available. It's looking like Alonso, Aspie are back, ready to start. James and Hudson-Odoi, question marks, might be available, could be on the bench, might not be available. We'll have to wait and see. Now, bearing that in mind, we are 2-0 up. We don't need to try and go for the kill. I feel like we have enough quality in order to just see the game through and at least get a result. We can sit back, conserve some energy, try and hit a counter. Lille, I think, are going to come at us. Just try and contain the game. Keep hold of the ball. Try and get maybe an early goal or one goal. I think that would kill the tie off completely. There are no away goals, so one goal just on its own would help. But going into who I think should be selected, let's get into the starting 11. Right, we start in goal. Edouard Mendy, without question, of course. Back three. I would go back three, just to add some more substance in terms of defending and containing that result. Remember, we're 2-0 up. We don't need to be reckless and try and go all out and leave ourselves exposed. Keep some shape. If we keep shape, I don't think Lille are getting through. With all due respect, I don't think they are. So I would go back three. I would go Christensen, Thiago Silva and Antonio Rudiger. Now, Chalobah, he's had a mistake in him for a few games now. I think it's safe to say we put Christensen and Silva next to Rudiger. Some stability. We don't need mistakes tomorrow. Even though, to be honest, I'm cutting him some slack. I think Chalobah's had a good season. It's his first full season. So, yeah, he'll come good. But right now, it's a key moment. It's a moment where we can't slip up. So we need stability, and I think that's our best centre-back three, not pairing, three. In terms of the wing backs, safe to say, look, Aspie and Alonso are ready to go. If we're playing in the back three, they're ready to go. I'd love to see Reece James if he's fit. I don't think he's going to start, though. I don't think he's fit enough, so we can't rush him. Aspie is ready to start. Play him. So Aspie and Alonso coming at wing back. In terms of midfield, this is a difficult one because Jorginho gave one hell of a ball to Kai Havertz for the goal against Newcastle. However, the circumstances are a bit different for this game. We are, I think, going to be setting up a little bit more defensively. We can, as I've said, just try and sit back and make sure we nullify the threats. When I say sit back, I don't mean park the bus. I just mean maybe be a little bit more reserved, close those gaps a little bit, make life hard for Lille. They've got to score twice, you know? So as long as we do that, we hopefully will find space to be able to break upon them and launch something. So in terms of midfield, I'd keep my original idea and go with Kante and Kovacic. Although if Jorginho does start, I'll be cool with that. However, I don't think Jorginho is going to be having the luxury in terms of space and trying to, we're not going to be all out attacking. I don't think that's going to be the case. So for me, Kovacic and Kante are the safe bet. In terms of moving forward, the front three, I'd go with the front three that beat Lille in the first leg. And that's Pulisic, Hakim Ziyech, and Kai Havertz. There's enough attacking threat and attacking power there in order to launch a counter-attack. Enough speed, enough quickness, enough creativity, I feel. They've done it in the first leg very, very effectively. Ziyech on that right-hand side looks sublime. Pulisic on that left-hand side looks sublime. Havertz, since that game, has looked sublime. So I think it's the best combination to go with against Lille, whilst all the other players can be set up in terms of defending, containing, nullifying those passing lanes, nullifying possession, keeping hold of the ball, trying to launch those attacks whenever we can in the few opportunities that we're going to get, I reckon, because Lille are going to go all out on us. I think that front three is going to be the most potent in order to catch them out on a break. So for me, that would be my starting 11. Now, in terms of a score prediction, I want to be humble here, because Lille are going to give it their all. And I've got a 1-1 floating in and around in my gut. My gut is telling me 1-1. But we've been on fine form. And that result on the weekend has given us big confidence. And I hope Kai Havertz can flourish like we've seen him flourish as of late. Once again, that would be amazing. So for me, you know what? I'm going to go with Lille 0, Chelsea 2. Again, 4-0 aggregate. We go through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and then it begins to get tasty whilst we hope to retain. What big of a statement would be to retain the Champions League, even in these circumstances that we're in right now. That would be amazing. Anyway, we've got to get a job done tomorrow. Let's get to the quarterfinal first, and then we can start looking forward to the draw. The infamous draw that we saw last season where big things happened, and you guys on this channel remember my reaction to last year's quarterfinal draw where I made a big statement and it came to pass. Let's hope we get past Lille and then we can start analysing that once again and see who we end up with. But anyway, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below in relation to the madness that's happened with the tickets saga earlier today. Let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on all of that. And also in relation to tomorrow's game, Lille-Chelsea, how do you think it's going to go down? What scoreline do you have predicted? What starting 11 would you go with? Let me know. I'd love to hear it. Thank you all so much. Tomorrow will be a watch-along, so make sure you're here for that, as well as the post-match review straight after. So I'll see all of you then. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit the notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you've enjoyed this. I'll see you tomorrow, people. Have a good one, people. See you tomorrow. Take care. And peace.